Hi guys! So today I am doing my get ready with me video. As you can see, I am completely makeup free. I just got out the shower, so I washed my face and obviously brushed my teeth, and then I just moisturized, which I was going to do that on camera, but I just moisturized with some Pond's facial cream. And this is really cheap. It seems to be extra oily. However, if you have extremely oily skin, this actually is a great product to use, just because your skin might be extra dry, and that's the reason why it's very oily. So that's what happened to me, and it could very possibly happen to you. So if you do have extra oily skin and you're trying to figure out why, maybe you should go in, you know, once more a day with moisturizer or something like that, and it might cut down on the oil. It sounds like it wouldn't, but it works for me. And so this is my skin, whatever, this is what it is. So let's get started. Okay guys, so the first product that I always, no matter what, put on is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And it's just a great like base. Anyway, my eyelid. And you don't need to use like a ton, but this is one of those products where you just put it on and it brings out the eyeshadow colors like so much better. So I usually pack on more than this, but it kind of looks a little brighter. It actually looks way brighter than what it actually is. But here we go. So just pack this on just like that. Okay, and then yeah, my skin is still a tad bit dry, but that's okay. We're not gonna fret. So okay, so now that you have your Painterly Paint Pot on, or your eyeshadow primer, I also have another eyeshadow primer that's really good. I used to use constantly until I found Paint Pot, which is my life. I used to use, and it's kind of dirty because it's just been laying in my makeup, but Urban Decay's original eyeshadow primer potion. This is really good, so probably if I run out of this before the month is out, or next month, whatever, which is definitely coming, I will probably move on to this until I can re-up. So works just as well, but I just like this one better because it's thicker. Okay, so since this is my everyday makeup look that is, you know, kind of amped up, but at the same time turned down, I'm going to use colors that are flat, that have no shimmer in them. The only thing that's going to have shimmer is my brow bone highlighter. So for this, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I love this palette. It has such pretty colors in it. If you haven't invested in this palette, go for it. You will not be disappointed. And if you get any of the little, like, you know, flyaway eyeshadows in your mouth or anything, it tastes good. It tastes like cocoa or something. It's really good. So okay, so I know it seems a little unorthodox because I am a darker skinned girl, but I'm going to be using this color. You see this big large white color right here. I'm going to be using that on my lids, and I know that this is already fairly light, but you know, it's gonna work. It's working. So you get a little bit of that on your brush. Now this is an e.l.f. professional eyeshadow brush. This is one of those short, flat ones. I love this brush. Get a little closer so I can see and you guys can see as well. I'm using the mirror on this palette, so if, you know, but you guys can still see. It's all good. It's all good in the hood, honey. I really don't sweep it on as much as I pat it on, because I feel like patting it on, you just, you know, just let it settle. You know, I mean, I know this already looks like really light and you're like, what? You look like a fucking ghost. It's all good. It's going to be good. I'm telling you, it's going to be lovely. Okay, so let's pat it on. And I'm going out. I'm leaving after this because I want to go out. I want to get out this house. Today I was editing and stuff, and it's like, it's almost 3 o'clock, and I'm just now like out the shower and stuff. I was washing clothes as well today, so I'm just trying to get out, honey. And it doesn't have to be perfect when you pack this on here. It really, honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look like a layer of color on there. So the next color that you want to put on is your crease color. So if you take a look at the palette, it's second row, third one in from the left. And it's just a natural color. Obviously, as you can see, I hit pan on mine, but it's just a natural color. It's really pretty. I tried my best to find that color that celebrities always have in their crease, and it just looks effortless. And I feel that this is the color that may be the closest. So now I'm using a powder shadow brush, and I believe this is from Sephora, but what I did, it did come out fairly flat when I bought it, and then what I did is I actually bit the sides, and then it shaped the brush almost like a short domed brush. It's amazing. I love it. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush, and then what you want to do is I usually start my crease like a little bit higher than what it is, because I have hooded eyes, which means that like when I look like this, my eyes don't look like this. They're like folded over. You have a fold over, so that's a hooded eye. And so what I do is I kind of start my crease a little bit higher, and when you start the crease color a little higher with a hooded eye, you will see that it kind of makes your eyelid on top pop a little more, because it's not as covered up. Like if I would have started where my crease actually is, which is right here, all you would see is like a white eyelid. But as you can see, like you can see a little bit above the white. And usually I kind of just work it in, and I'll blend it and, you know, do whatever. But, you know, I'm going to pick up a blending brush, so don't be alarmed. I usually bring the color like right underneath of my eyebrow, and I just color right in my eyebrow. I don't even care. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm telling you, like by the time you fix everything up, it's going to look amazing. So I just do that to cover up the Painterly paint pot that I put like right underneath of the brow right here, because if you don't cover that up, it's going to look weird. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's going to look weird if you don't cover it up. So that's what I do. And you know what? This is not the conventional way to do your makeup, but if you guys see me in videos, my vlogging videos and stuff, this is the process of what I do personally. So if you like the way my makeup looks when you see me on my vlogging channel and I'm like walking around with makeup, a full face of makeup, this is how I'm achieving it. So if you like that, continue. If you don't like what it looks like, you know, watch a few videos, wink, wink. If you don't like it, then, you know, you turn this video off, because I ain't got nothing for you. But this is how I'm achieving this look. So, you know, stay tuned. Keep watching. Okay, so now that I have both eyes done, right now I'm just going to take my blending brush. This is another pro blending brush from Sephora, as you can see. And it really is just like a bushy blending brush. I don't know. Anyway, I don't use it. I mean, it's a good blending brush, but it's not like... I could get a better one. I will be doing a brush purge eventually, and I'll be getting new brushes because I need to. I'm not really a person who washes my brushes like constantly every week, but it's nice when you know, you have to blend your makeup in to some degree. But I think for this look, what I'm going to do is add depth. I'm going to add some depth. And they usually tell you don't go back and forth like a windshield wiper. They usually tell you to like go like this. But again, this is what I do. So, okay. So now that that is all finished, we are going to do, what do I do next? Oh, the depth. Okay. Duh. Add depth. Okay. So this is going to be a BH Cosmetics brush. And it's really just the flat eyeshadow brush that they have. It's the smaller one. For this depth color, I'm just going to use black. Usually I'll use like a dark brown, but today I kind of want to go a little harsher. So I'm going to be using Urban Decay's. It's just a loose eyeshadow, and it's called Blackout. That's their black one. Literally, this is never going to run out. I've had this almost for like a year, It's never going to run out, but it's by Urban Decay. So really what I do is I just get like a pointy, like thin kind of brush. If you can see how thin this is when I turn it, it's very thin. I just go like this. Get it on the tip. And so then what I do is I kind of just work it into my crease. Like I just go like this. I just kind of paint it like this. And then when I get to the corner, I just bring it over so it looks like a V almost. If it smudges a teeny bit, it's okay. And then I just smudge it out a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I mean, this is really going to be blended out. So, because you can't leave it like this. But as you can see, like, look how it looks already. So, adding depth is amazing. Okay, so now that I've filled in my depth on both eyes, as you can see, I have the V. What you're going to want to do is take your blending brush and you're just going to want to blend it out. Usually I try not to blend like in the middle of the color. I try to just blend the outskirts of the color because you kind of want the color to stay bold. So usually I'll just do it on the outskirts. And don't really worry about the brow bone because you're going to put a highlighter on anyway on top of that. So it'll be okay. And don't really worry about the crease color, anything like that, because you can always re-up on it. But just kind of blend it in the corners and just, you know, just kind of blend it in. As you can see, it's blended and it looks way different than this one. So you can see the difference from this eye to this eye. Just to add a little bit of light to your eyes, I'll go back over the light color that's on my lid with that color from the palette, but I'll kind of bring it up my eye right here, almost like adjacent to the bridge of my nose. And I kind of just bring it up because you can blend it out. We're going to blend it out. We have to blend this out. But it lightens up, so the black, because once it's distributed and blended over, it kind of takes over the crease color. So then what you want to do is don't just blend it directly on top of the white, but make sure that where the white hits the dark or the light hits the dark, just make sure it's blended and there's no harsh lines. So as you can see, it's light in here, it's light in here, because I don't want it to be dark over there. It's just not. So right now, I am through with my eyes for right now. I'm done with them. Okay, so the next product that I will be using will be my full coverage MAC foundation in NW50. And I usually just put this on with a blending brush or a beauty blender. However, in the winter and in the fall, I will use the full coverage. If it's not winter or fall, because this is full coverage and it's heavy, I will put on a foundation, and I'll show you which ones I use. I will use the Makeup Forever HD. As you can see, I am completely out of this, so I got to get more. Another one that I will use is the MAC Matchmaster Studio Fix Fluid from MAC. So those are my three go-to foundations in the spring and in the summer, but in the winter and the fall I will use the full coverage foundation from MAC. So I'm just, like I said, going to put it on with a beauty blender, and really you're just going to take your beauty blender, just go like this, blah 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 blah, just dab it. It seems to be a tad bit oily sometimes, which to me isn't a bad thing because I have dry skin. But I'm just gonna, you know, pat it all over my skin. And as you can see, it really is just covering everything. I mean, I didn't even get a lot on, and I kind of just don't really go completely under my eye because I'm gonna put concealer on. Well, what I would call concealer. Okay, that's done. So the next thing that I like to do is concealer. Now, this is what I can tell you about my concealer, because I usually use, let me see if I still have it. Okay, no, I don't have it in here per se, but what I usually use for concealer is the Makeup Forever full coverage, I think it's like 3D concealer or something like that. It's like 3D or something, or No, it's not 3D. I don't know what it is, but it's full coverage. Anyway, I have the tubes, but I was so desperate that I actually cut them in half and was using all the product out, because why not get the bang for your buck, you know? So, what I have resorted to, which I could very well use, let me see, I could very well use my MAC, which one is this? Studio Finish Concealer in NW45. I could very well use this. However, this is so close to the color of that foundation that it's really not going to add any lightness or brightness to my under eye. So I have resorted in, this is Wet n Wild's Cover All Cream Foundation. It looks like this. This was like 49 cents at Rite Aid. Honestly, it's good. I have it in tan, 858 tan. This looks really light, but I am a person who loves a light under eye concealer. So, okay, so to put on my concealer slash foundation, I'm going to use another beauty blender. I actually have two. I have one for foundation and one for concealer. So I'm going to use my, and this is how I tell them apart. Not only is the color lighter, but my foundation beauty blender, it has a hole in it. Love it, right? Got to get more of those as well. But this is my concealer one. So what I'm going to do is just squeeze. Now this has a very big hole on this. So what you do is you just want to put on a little bit, like just a little squeeze. As big as that. It's actually probably too much for right now, but it's all good. And then what you want to do is just, I usually just dab like this underneath, and I'll go over this one. So let me blend this one in. And again, this might be too light for you, but I just bring it right up to my hairline, right underneath of my eye. And then with the rest of this, I kind of just go up to my forehead, and I kind of just bring it around my forehead and my hair, like all the way down into my hairline, and it's good. But I mean, you're going to contour up there, but just, you know, it's nice to have a lightness on your forehead, and you'll be able to tell the difference. Like I can already see the lightness. And then what I do is I just grab a little bit more concealer, and I put like a nice little chunk on right there. And then what I do is I just drag it down my jawline here and drag it down my other jawline, and then blend it. And this is how you develop the contour line, so that you're going to be contouring, but it's going to be a lot easier for you because you have a guide. See this definition right here? I didn't even put any contouring powder on, and you can already see, like, just by my skin color, you can already see that it's like, you know, it's pretty good. So I usually just match it up with my earlobe. Wherever my earlobe is, I kind of just go down that line. I'll bring it around my mouth and underneath of my nose because it's kind of dark there. And a lot of women have that, especially women of color. They'll have like discoloration around their mouth, or you know, if you're Caucasian, you might have redness around your mouth or something like that. But I ran out of everything. I swear to God, I ran out of everything, you guys. Max Prep and Prime translucent finishing powder is usually what I use. As you can see, this is completely gone. There's nothing else in there. So I have resorted to a cheaper version of translucent powder, which is the e.l.f. High Definition powder. And this is one of their new products. It's $6 at Target. They say it's new, but actually I've been using it for like 2 months, and I don't know how new it was before then. But anywho, you're just going to want to screw off the lid. It comes with a little powder. I don't use that because I don't like it. And then it just looks like this. So what I do is I just kind of pour some powder in my lid. A little bit more. Okay. And then what I do is I take a flat e.l.f. Powder brush, and it's just flat. It's one of the it's their biggest brush that they have. So I take that, and what I do is I just kind of work in the powder underneath of my eyes where I put my concealer. Okay, so after you have your powder done, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to, now you have a choice of what you want to move on to. You can move on to your contour, or you can move on to your brows. So for me right now, I'm trying to think what would be the best thing. Contour for me would be the best thing. So I got